It's worse than mad, but welcome to America.
Yeah, who would have thought that with Trump waging war against another country actively involved in the World Cup, all while placing severe travel restrictions on several other countries involved in the World Cup, while threatening more or less the entire world, including World Cup co-hosts Mexico and Canada, that people aren't exactly thrilled at the prospect of coming to the United States for said World Cup in June.
And when you look at that, June 12th, 1775, so we have a very, very special day coming up. You know, we have a lot of them during this term. And interestingly, I had none of them had I not had a rigged election. Had the election not been rigged, I would have been out of here. I would have been gone. The radical left would have said, we got rid of him finally. But no, now they have me for another 4 years. We talk about that. And in the other 4 years, you know, I sort of said, I got the Olympics to come in, and I got the World Cup to come in.
In a scathing new article by the New Republic, they made the claim that Trump and FIFA have already broken the 2026 World Cup before it even started, citing travel bans, ice fears, and absurd costs that are essentially ruining the prospect of hosting the most prestigious tournament of the world's beautiful game before it even begins. And at the center of this article is the relationship between Donald Trump and FIFA President Gianni Infantino. Yes, the man who, in the midst of Donald Trump threatening to annex Greenland while at the time eyeing Iran, thought it was fitting to give him a newly made up FIFA Peace Prize.
It's what we call win-win. And I also love that the Peace Prize from FIFA, it didn't go to like Greta Thunberg or some silly little peace activist.
Because it was created for the president. That's what Johnny Infantino
what's your beef with this?
I'm saying there were no other candidates.
So
it wasn't like
what's your point?
Beat out
Do you wish that it went to Amnesty International or to Greenpeace?
Yes. I don't understand why FIFA needs a peace award.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Because they're kissing his butt.
Yes.
He's hosting the game.
Right.
And by the way, let me ask you this: who deserves a peace prize?
No. I'm not getting into this with you.
No, you started it with me.
This is not about.
You're having like 3 conversations here.
You started with. Look. He's going around the world basically brokering peace. Why shouldn't he get a peace prize?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
But as the ongoing conflict with Iran continues, with reports of Trump being kept out of the Situation Room to prevent a complete catastrophe, there are fears from businesses inside the United States that this tournament won't be as big of a success as the Trump administration has touted it will be.
Today on Forbes, the U.S. hotel industry is starting to worry about the World Cup. Due to ongoing economic uncertainty, geopolitical tension, and a prolonged so-called, quote, Trump slump causing a drop in international visitors, the significant boost U.S. hotels were expecting from the World Cup may not happen, according to CoStar, the leading benchmarking and analytics firm for the industry. The U.S. hotel industry is concerned about the impact of the World Cup due to uncertainty over international fan attendance. A FIFA analysis last year projected a $30.5 billion economic boost and 185,000 jobs this year, assuming millions of international tourists would flock to the tournament. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has repeatedly stated that World Cup tickets sold out quickly, yet some U.S. fans received emails in February offering a 48-hour window to purchase tickets. Alan Fial, professor at the University of Central Florida's Rosen College of Hospitality Management, told Forbes, quote, "They're selling primarily to domestic customers. There is a big question about international visitors." Reports of domestic ticket sales and the notoriously difficult U.S. visa process have raised doubts. Host cities were advised to expect a 50-50 split between domestic and international visitors, but hotels prefer international guests because they spend more, stay longer, use more amenities, and contribute more to the local economy. U.S. inbound international travel declined in 2025, a trend noted by U.S. Travel Association CEO Jeff Freeman at the 2026 America's Lodging Investment Summit in January. Freeman questioned if the Trump administration's tourism dampening policies, like the $250 visa integrity fee and proposed social media history requirement for some travelers, would continue. At the same event, Marriott CEO Anthony Capuano suggested the U.S. was not welcoming, stating that travelers' concerns about the customs and immigration experience are, quote, big impediments to the lodging industry's potential success.
While fans from certain countries face visa uncertainty, others are worried about being detained or denied entry, with ICE enforcement becoming a global talking point. Even FIFA has reportedly had to consider asking for limits on enforcement during the tournament due to concerns from fans travelling to the country. They're having to ask Trump to ease back on their ICE enforcement just to make fans feel safe. I mean, that's not normal. That's damage control. And you layer on top of that the Iran war, which doesn't seem to be getting resolved anytime soon. So there may be a possibility of a host nation hosting a country that they are actively engaged in a war with.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly. I do see a deal in Iran, yeah.
Mr. President.
Could be soon. We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon.
I mean, at one point, if you remember, Trump suggested that Iran playing might not be, quote, appropriate for safety reasons, only to backtrack. And now you can understand why hotels are reacting the way they are. Earlier reporting showed that hotels are slashing prices, while FIFA themselves are cancelling room blocks with demand coming in below expectations. I mean, that's not a coincidence, right? It's a response to what Donald Trump is and has been doing since he took office again. Because when travel's uncertain, costs are rising, and the political environment feels increasingly unstable, people aren't exactly chomping at the bit to book trips to the US. I mean, we've seen that with reports that Vegas is as quiet as it's ever been.
This is the data from the Commerce Department, this administration's Commerce Department on National Travel and Tourism Office. Year-over-year declines in travelers from October 24th to the 25th. It's not just from Canada, it's from Germany, it's from the Netherlands, it's from Australia, it's New Zealand, it's India, it's Vietnam, it's Philippines. We are seeing under this administration a U.S. Travel Association travel forecast that is dealing with now nearly a 70 billion travel trade deficit for 2025. So how do you intend to address the tourism travel issue that we are losing money in this country because of the policies of this administration?
Is overall the occupancy in Las Vegas down, or more Americans going?
I'm talking about internationally. It's not just me. It's Florida. It's other states that are dealing with a decline in tourism. And this is my conversation with you for the last year that seems to be this administration keeps ignoring. It is a $1 trillion industry to this country, and you don't seem to think it is important. Let me talk about something else, though.
And even if fans do come, right, the experience itself is becoming prohibitively expensive. I mean, we've already seen transit prices jumping 700% in some areas.
You may have seen some recent headlines about transportation costs for World Cup games in New Jersey. So let me tell you exactly where things stand. Our administration inherited an agreement where FIFA is providing $0 for transportation to the World Cup. Zero. That leaves New Jersey Transit with a $48 million bill to safely get 40,000 fans to and from every game. At the same time, FIFA is making $11 billion off of this World Cup and charging fans up to $10,000 for a single ticket for the final. I won't stick New Jersey's commuters with that tab for years to come. That's not fair. So here's the bottom line. FIFA should pay for the rides, but if they don't, I'm not going to let New Jersey commuters get taken for one.
With this World Cup being shaped by a model that seems to prioritize revenue, not accessibility for the people that literally make this game what it is.
How much are the hotels going for near the stadium?
Yeah, for a whopping $8,500 per night. That's the end of the range. Hotels in Secaucus and East Rutherford, those are the towns closest to MetLife Stadium. They're ranging from $370 up to that $8,500 price tag. It is going to be difficult to find a deal so close to the stadium. For example, one motel close by, the Red Roof Inn in Secaucus, normally charges around $173 per night for a spring weekend. But for those staying the weekends of the World Cup matches, the cost is $410.
The World Cup is expected, as we know, to generate billions in revenue and happens only once every 4 years. So instead of FIFA pushing back on travel restrictions and political instability and accessibility issues, they have very much aligned with this administration, even as those issues grow.
Shared a status report from the analytics firm on LinkedIn in early March, noting, quote, "We are seeing much more muted optimism about the hotel results leading up to the World Cup." Chantal Wu, a senior director of hospitality market analytics at CoStar, told Forbes that lodging demands in the U.S. during the tournament is expected to boost revenue per available room, also known as RevPAR, nationally by only 1.2% in June and 1.5% in July. That's a noticeable downgrade from less than a month ago, when CoStar and Tourism Economics forecasted a still disappointing 1.7% year-over-year lift in the RevPAR for June and July, only a quarter of the boost received when the US hosted the World Cup in 1994. Harry Carr, Pivot Hotels and Resorts' Senior Vice President of Commercial Optimization, told CoStar, quote, "We are much less bullish about the World Cup than we were 3 months ago."
Infantino has shown quite clearly where his allegiance lies, and it's not with the people that make this game what it is, the fans. It is with
Want
the
to stay
FIFA
plugged in?
Peace
Become
Prize
a
winner.
subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.